Let's talk about Chloe's melanoma. So obviously, this is huge. We've talked about this a bit now, and it's just like seeing Chloe and her face. Oh my gosh, it just breaks my heart.
It's so
Seeing this
sad.
girl go through all of this, like, oh my goodness, that bandage is huge. I love seeing her and Malika's friendship, and I love to see, like, how worked up Malika was and, like, how calm Chloe was. That just goes to show, like, she really does keep a lid on things, you know? I mean, she was
Mhm.
literally, like, falling in her arms at one point. Yeah, see?
Yeah, there's that
Oh my
visual.
goodness. But, what did you think of the fact that so apparently they did end up getting all of it, thank God. I mean, my biggest fear is, like, with cancer, they'll get it, and then there's always something that comes back. So I'm praying to God that that does not happen with Chloe. But I think that her just like opening up and documenting this whole journey is just really vulnerable overall.
Totally. I agree. I mean, I think that this whole situation for her has probably been so traumatizing, and for Malika, who cares so deeply about Chloe, I can imagine it's traumatizing for everyone involved. And like you said, Chloe's really keeping a lid on it. She's like a very strong person, but it's not because she's born that way. It kind of feels like she's been almost like has so many
Yeah,
scars and has so much, scar tissue that at this point it's just numb, to the things that happened to her. And that is a really sad part of life. Like, that's really sad to see her so numb to a condition that is probably very traumatizing, and she feels like she cannot express how she's feeling?
agreed. Do you think that we will ever see Chloe have a softer side of her? Because I feel like she's always been probably like the toughest sister in my eyes, just out of the three Kardashians, and then I
Definitely.
mean out of the others as well. But do you think that she'll ever maybe show? I mean, yes, she's showing vulnerability by disclosing, the melanoma, the journey, and everything like that. But do you
Mhm.
think that we'll ever really see her get emotional, or do you think that Chloe's going to kind of always be in this version of Chloe and how she
I
copes
mean,
with things? Do you ever see her getting softer?
we have seen her get soft, I believe, a couple times. I
Mhm.
mean, there have been a couple of moments over the years, maybe not in this iteration of the Kardashians, back when it was on on Keeping Up, when the first time that the Tristan scandal went around with Jordan Woods, that episode, the lid was off,
Yes. Yes, it was.
you
Yes, it
know?
was.
So, like,
Mhm.
I mean, the lid was off. She was she was emotionally not with it. Like,
I
crazy.
know.
I remember, like, it's that clip of her being like, "This is my life. Like, this isn't just reality TV." And I feel like that was the first time we ever saw her, like, really break down in front of a
Really,
camera,
I would agree.
and lose it. Um And I feel like a lot of them feel that way. I feel like Chloe feels that way. I don't think Courtney feels that way. We see her cry all the time, but I don't think it was in this episode, but a clip on TikTok of Kim, saying, "I wish there was a day where like I could lose it. Like where I could, lose my emotional, lid and everyone else can be
Mhm.
okay and I can lose it." And it seems like they have that in common, Chloe and Kim.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like you're correct, definitely. I think that's probably that was the turning point is when we saw her kind of starting to, um, not be okay after the whole Jordan situation happened. I think that that's really the pivotal point there. I think that's where she started to build her walls for sure, and I think that that's
100%.
what really has shaped her into being, like, the tough girl that she is today. But nonetheless, I'm glad that she's okay. I'm glad that we didn't have to wait until the end of the season to find that out too. That really had me on edge. I'm really glad that we were
Yeah.
able to find out by, like, the end of episode 2 that chances are she's going to be okay moving forward, and she's good.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't wanna
agree.
have to wait 10 or 12 episodes to find that out, you know? Oh,
I don't
man.
think any of us did. So I'm
No.
I'm right there with you. I agree.